happy day.
Sorry, I can't sing.
I'm feeling good.
I'm too sorry.
I'm feeling good. It's Monday.
Yes,
I believe
indeed.
there are up to 1,000 ways to start your week, like singing. But the best way to kick off is tuning into this premium and unique breakfast show on television.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to the Monday edition of Wake Up Nigeria. Today, be 100% responsible, zero excuses. Remember, if you aim for the moon and if you miss, you just may hit the stars.
Hopefully you don't get injured. But it's important to start the week with the right kind of vibe. That's why we're here, bright and early, to give you the required push in the right direction.
And with that, we are sure it's going to be a blessed-filled week for you guys. My name, of course, you guys know already, is Mazino Appeal.
And I am Mary Bashwa Alimi. Now, we ask you to stay tuned for the whole 3-hour breakfast television experience,
Yes.
okay?
Don't forget to stream the show live at tvc.tv and on Facebook at tvcentertainment.tv and on all our platforms. Remember to always use that hashtag. Send in the comments. Wake Up Nigeria on TVC is the hashtag.
Yes, and you can also download our mobile app from any Android or iOS store to watch us on your mobile devices from absolutely anywhere in the world.
Let's not forget that we have someone standing by here. Yes. Mary is looking... Sorry. Oh, did I say Mary? Sorry, Mary is here. is looking fantastically beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Looks good, but you could have first complimented
You look
me.
good yourself. I apologize.
I know,
I just
but
had
gosh.
to.
I can't blame him. Can you see the electric blue has on? And the looks, like the hair?
Wow, Mary.
Look at your hair,
I mean, you look good yourself. Look at that blondie.
No,
wow.
Rocking
let's
on
just
a
leave the blondie,
Monday.
but you look good.
It shows that you are going to pepper them gang today.
The breakout of tables.
Cool.
Stop it.
We
She's
know what
looking like
happened
the
over the
ice
weekend.
queen over there.
How was your weekend, guys?
It was not as
Abio.
exciting as yours because we know you're trending all over the internet.
It's not even the internet. She's trending online and offline.
Thank God I haven't broken the internet yet. Thank
Oh,
God.
well.
Wait.
You never can say.
So we strongly recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see every single show that you might have missed, especially the ones that was on over the weekend. We're at tvcentertainment.tv on YouTube for more of those videos, here on Wake Up Nigeria, and of course, big issue.
Nobody asked him for that, but we'll pretend we didn't hear that. And of course, you can also catch up with us on Fridays. That's at 2:30 p.m. We have something extra, read all about it. But you should watch all about it on IG Live. One of the things I really like about that guy is his voice.
Oh.
Like I should ask him one of these days why he hasn't considered doing radio. Like he has a fantastic voice.
He does.
Yeah, like he's talking and you can hear it booming. Like, I told you.
Oh.
Wow. Like,
So you've never complimented me on my voice, but it's okay, no problem, Mary. Let's go on.
Okay.
Mike Jerry,
your
how are
voice
you?
Don't mind that. He's my guy. His voice is not the way Mary is in it.
It sounds as if it's better than yours.
No.
He's got a great voice.
It's not bad, but Mary, when you understand,
We
so
have
you
affinity
understand the
for
voice will be
something.
sounding differently, you'll be hearing it differently. When it hits differently with ladies.
Yes.
In different ways.
Anyway,
So that's
you
basically
guys
it.
Mike,
can't feel it
how
the
was
way it
your
is.
weekend?
My weekend. Saturday. What did we do on Saturday?
What did you do on Saturday?
Saturday. Okay, yeah. So normally I say weekends at times, most of the time, weekends is when you can really move around a little bit more or freer than weekdays because of traffic. I think I did a little bit of moving around Sunday. I was a little bit cool, but I think I woke up a bit cold or something and all of that. So I was really in-house more on Sunday. But yeah, it was Saturday a little bit of movement. Sunday was a bit more restful and chilling. And football, of course.
Yeah.
What
to
about
keep-
you, Emem?
And then, of course, okay, no. So don't go and download Mulan on this thing. It's out on Disney Plus, yeah? Go and watch on Disney Plus. Yeah, so...
So you've seen it?
Movie.
Legally? Is that what you're saying?
Legally. I'm not saying it, actually. I'm not saying it, but you should go and show that you see legally and all of that.
It's
Yeah,
all
so that was it.
It's
That's how
all
the weekend
good.
was.
So what about you?
My weekend was good.
We know about her weekend, don't worry.
Yeah.
What do you know about that? Please, let's
Exactly.
know about the weekend, because that thing that happened earlier than the weekend. Please, how was your weekend, sweetheart?
My weekend was good. I had a restful weekend. I was supposed to go for a wedding on Saturday,
Oh, yeah.
but something happened and I just changed my mind last minute.
Coronavirus.
I had a
Because
lot of friends that are very excited about weddings.
Yeah.
Yes, on Saturdays. A lot were excited.
Well, I had my first wedding
They were jumping
MC
out.
job
Okay.
this weekend.
Oh,
Nice.
After a very
Congratulations.
not my first one. I mean my first
Post-corona.
lockdown
Yeah, COVID, yeah.
wedding, which was a very interesting dynamic because it was very small
Yeah.
and then it was over Zoom. So we had a very few people, and then everybody else joined in on Zoom. So it changed the dynamics a bit. Instead of having a big crowd that you have to interact with, you also have to interact with people from across the world.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting.
Made sense.
And I'm happy that I was able to,
That's-
combine
that's-
the methods even here looking at the camera all the time,
Yeah,
and
and
then
having
being
to
with
do
a live
that.
audience as well. So that was,
and
that was
then
quite
so for some
interesting.
funny reason I found myself on the island and it felt like a waste of intellectual content.
You did what?
To be on the island.
Yeah. So I was invited for an event
Okay.
and eventually it wasn't worth it at all.
It happens.
Yeah,
It
that can be
happens.
very painful.
Yeah, it was
can be
very,
very
it was
painful.
painful.
It can be very
It
painful
was
for the people
gruesome.
themselves watching because they are hearing her say this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's
hopefully they
how
learn from it.
painful I was.
Hopefully they learn from it.
Yeah, because I feel that if you're going to discuss a topic, you really need to do your research about it.
About all that.
And yeah, so basically that's my weekend in a nutshell.
Okay.
So it was restful.
But
That's
sample,
great.
so.
Okay, I was going to talk about my weekend, but I think we'll just keep that for later because I know for sure that Mazzino has the news.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get started on the news then. So 30.5 billion, that's the amount the federal government says it has spent in 4 months to combat COVID-19. This revelation is in response to a Freedom of Information request by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project and Connected Development, SERAP, Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadari and CODE Chief Executive Officer Hamzat Lawal, who signed the letter, had asked the government to give a breakdown of how the money was spent. Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, said the amount spent represents 84% of 36.3 billion naira COVID-19 donations received from April to July. The civil society groups said that the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 spent 22 billion naira and 36 states spent 7 billion naira to support their COVID-19 initiatives. Nigerian Air Force spent 877 million naira for deployment of assets to support of COVID-19 operations, while the Nigeria Police spent 500 million naira on personal protective equipment. 17,865 naira 9 kobo was paid as bank charges, they say. They added that 150 Nigerians donated between 1 and 100 naira to support the authorities' efforts to fight COVID-19. Though the two civil society groups are somewhat satisfied, they got a response but wants details on the spending of 34.4 billion naira between April and July and details on plans to spend the balance of 5.9 billion naira in the COVID-19 eradication support accounts. 2 suspects are in the custody of the Nigerian police for their involvement in a multi-million euro scam linked to the procurement of COVID-19 personal protective equipment. 50-year-old Babatunde Adesanya, also known as Teddy, and 41-year-old Akinpelu Hassan were arrested for allegedly defrauding a German company of 14.7 million euros. According to the force spokesperson Frank Mba, the suspects cloned the corporate website of ILBN Holdings BV Holland to defraud one Frederick von Hahn, a representative of the German state of North Rhine-Westphalia. According to the force public relations officer, the suspects fraudulently obtained from Mr. Frederick von Hahn the sum of 1.5 million euros and another 880,000 euros as advanced payment for the supply of COVID-19 PPEs valued at 14.7 million euros. Investigations by Interpol Nigeria further revealed that Babatunde Adesanya received 498,000 euros through his Citibank London account and transferred same to an account domiciled with a leading commercial bank in Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari is set to attend the 57th ordinary session of the Economic Community of West African States in Niamey, the capital of Niger. COVID-19, the economic security and democracy are expected to top the agenda at Monday's meeting. As the region's champion on the fight against COVID-19, President Buhari is expected to present a special report on the sub-regional response to the pandemic. Senior Special Assistant to the President, Gabasheu, says the leadership, or rather the leaders, would also receive a special report on ECOWAS single currency program. The President of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean Brou, will also present the 2020 interim report on activities of the sub-regional body, including ECOWAS Vision 2050. The alarming rise in incidents of terrorism, insurgency, armed banditry, and piracy will also come upon focus, while the disruption of the democratic process by the military in Mali will receive further attention. Similarly, in Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, Guinea, and Niger, where parliamentary and presidential elections are scheduled for this year, the imperative to strengthen democracy by respecting constitutional provisions and rule of law will be emphasized. President Buhari will be accompanied to the summit by ministers and other top government officials. As international flight activities begin, the federal government says incoming airlines are only permitted to bring in maximum of 200 passengers per trip. This was disclosed in a memo signed by the Director General and CEO of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Musa Nuhu. He said the limitations was due to the limited number of approved incoming passengers at 1,280 per airport on a daily basis. But there is no limit on the number of outgoing passengers from the country. The NCAA also added that each airline operator was entitled to only one frequency on an approved day of operation, irrespective of the capacity of aircraft utilized. The limit on the number of passengers on incoming flights will be increased in the coming weeks, and additional flights frequencies will be allocated to airlines.
Thank you very much. We'll begin with the Daily Independent, and the big headline here says, fuel subsidy removal, history will be kind to us. And that's coming from the President Buhari himself, says previous governments lacked courage to take action. Now, we also see Pencom's transfer window may scuttle its micro-pension plan. A 5G trial puts Nigeria ahead of Ghana, others in digital economy. We are set to avert planned attack of Abuja, others, and that's coming from the military. Now, Nigeria risks 350 billion naira pay TV investments over NBC reform, forex woes. H1 2020, Fidelity Bank posts impressive half-year results. Wow, okay. Now, up here, we see 1.25% savings interest rate may crash banks' deposits 30% by end of the fourth quarter. Serap demands details of federal government 31 billion naira COVID-19 disbursements. All of these stories and more you can catch in the Daily Independent today. Moving on to the Punch newspaper now. A COVID-19 pandemic, experts warn of massive surge as Nigerians abandon face masks. Supporters abandon wearing face masks, don't observe social distancing at campaigns, and that's coming from the NMA. Expect more troubles, Tomori says. Shunning safety protocols dangerous, says a virologist. Still on the front page of the Punch newspaper, we see a dead party will surprise Tinubu on October 10, vows a PDP. STD teenage pregnancies increase in Ibadan during lockdown. Resident doctors begin strike today. Woo other health workers. Interpol arrests 2 men for 14 million euros PPE contract fraud. A curfew. Police detain Lagos doctor as pregnant woman, baby die. Chemical kills 3 timber operators in Ondo forest. Up here, we see 13 power plants shut. Discos reject 8,733.39 megawatts in 1 week. We are prepared to foil terror attack on FCT, and that's coming from the divisional headquarters. Money spraying at Buhari's daughter's wedding sparks debate. federal government has begun investigating PNID bribe takers, and that's coming from the AGF. Now, there's a small box here talking about Edo Decides 2020. Okumbo says, why I'm supporting Ize-Iyamu against Obaseki. APC stirring controversy to shift governorship poll. Clark decries character assassination, calls for restraint. All of these stories and more you can catch in the Punch newspaper today. Moving on now to the Vanguard. Subsidy, past governments couldn't take action, and that's coming from the presidency. Electricity, uncertainty as Disco's bid to pull out. USD services threatened as telcos, banks bicker. Telcos may withdraw service links over 17 billion naira debt. Cashless society. NCC CBN's MOU to suffer 40 million USSD users risk being cut off. And there's a graph here, you might want to check that out. H1 2020, Fidelity Bank's profits up 22%. Gross earnings hit 105.8 billion naira. Edo, I'll spend my last kobo back in Ize-Iyamu, and that's coming from Okumbo. Onayekon Kegama asked federal government to reverse new electricity tariff as well as the fuel price. And still on the fuel price, Nigeria buries subsidy albatross, raises hope of infrastructure development. And there's just a little map here showing gasoline prices in naira per litre in some West African countries as at 31st August 2020. Price in Nigeria is as at 6th of September 2020. So you see it here, and from this graph, it does look like Nigeria still has the lowest amount, surprisingly. Well, you can read more on this and other stories in the Vanguard newspaper today. Finally, I believe this is all we have time for now. Daily Trust newspaper is what I'm going to take now quickly. Millions of children at risk of measles, polio due to vaccination disruptions. That's the major headline on the Daily Trust. Why we shun immunization centers? That's coming from mothers. Lockdown keeps PHCs, that's primary health centers, inaccessible. Healthcare agency says immunization key to protecting children, and that's coming from experts. Down here, we see federal government spends 5 billion naira monthly on IDPs. That's coming from a Senate panel. 2 feared dead as IPOB attacks Hausa residents in Rivers. Ethiopian Airlines resumes Abuja-Lagos flights. Nigerians flay Naira rain at Buhari's daughter's wedding. I'll just take this as the final. CBN raises target credit to 100 billion naira for MSMEs. Now, all of these stories and more you can read up on in the Daily Trust newspaper today. And that's about it for the newspaper headlines. We'll definitely bring you more headlines in the second hour of the show. Right now, however, we have to take this break. Stay with us. It is time for traffic updates. Now, I need you to remember you have to be extremely careful with how you manage your movement. And of course, that's why we're here to ensure that you get to your intended destination on time and most importantly, safe and sound. We're going to move through it quickly because there's gist in the kitchen. So I want to really keep you updated for your movement. And then, of course, go join the guys in the kitchen. Now, this morning, we're going to start off from the Abule Egba to Mushin bus stop route, okay? So as it is, if you're driving, it's going to take you an hour, 45 minutes to get to your destination. So if you're just setting out from Abule Egba and you're heading towards Mushin, prepare your mind for an hour, 45 minutes. As it is, it will take you just about an hour 25 to get to Ikeja. So about plus or minus 15 minutes from Ikeja, you should be at Mushin bus stop, okay? So let me tell you areas to prepare your mind for traffic for. From what I can see here, there's a bit of traffic at Abule Egba, okay? So prepare your mind for that. In fact, it's a major gridlock. So you're connecting to the expressway, you would go straight into that traffic. So it's coming just before you get to the road over there. So when you get to the bus stop, if you're coming from the Ekoro side, the first thing you see is a gridlock. But don't worry, it won't last long since you're coming from there. It's worse off for those before that junction. But then it's not so bad. Pockets of light traffic is what you will experience. In fact, Ile-Epo, there isn't so much traffic really. Until you get to Pleasure bus stop, that's where you experience your first light traffic. And that would lead you straight to your second gridlock rather. And so that gridlock will take you through Iyanopaja. So prepare your mind. It's actually some gridlock. It's not even a congestion of 5 minutes. It'll take you about 10-15 minutes to get out of that one. Now, when you get out of it, light traffic, okay? And then, freeway here and there until you're approaching Dokpemu. So from the Iyano area is where the gridlock starts again. And it will take you through Dokpemu. And believe it or not, that gridlock continues to Ikeja. So if you're in the gridlock and you're wondering, where is it going to ease out? It's not going to ease out. Yes, that's the bad news I have for you this morning. Emma Binu, sorry, because that traffic will take you all the way through all the way through National till you get to Ikeja Under Bridge. Just after Ikeja Under Bridge is light traffic, and then mostly a freeway until you are approaching Oshodi as usual. At the arena side, light traffic, then the gridlock before the bridge, then of course light traffic. Afterwards, it's a freeway until you get to Mushin. So prepare your mind as you're coming from Iyano. You might want to take the Agege route. If you decide that, okay, you're looking for an alternative, that one will save you about 15 minutes, yes. So you might want to consider that. But hey, if you decide to pass the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, prepare your mind. That traffic is really bad this morning. Now, I'm pretty sure the guys have updates for me, so I'd like to hear them.
Well, alrighty then, a couple of updates here. I'll give you some. Apart from the biblical proportions of the traffic coming from inside of K2 and Ikorodu, and of course the Agege Road. References on Twitter referencing the traffic situation just before CMS. It's pretty bad and heavy today, but not like it was a couple of months ago, so you will survive that one. And another reference here on the Lagos-Badagry Expressway before Orile, that's another one, but that seems standard by now. You should know that you'd be expecting to see some traffic on that path. Apart from that, that's all I have for this morning.
Okay, yes, at Lagos traffic reports, traffic from Thomas, Salako Junction through Nationwide, petrol station to Ajayi Road Junction to Aguda by Excellence Hotel is good to go at this time. And then to County, Omole Junction, Omole Estate Gate Grammar School is good to go. And this came in at about 6:26 a.m. this morning. And there's another update here, Grammar School to VIS, Ojodu and Beggar Inward. The Express is good to go at this. This came in at about 6:26 a.m. this morning. And so that's about it basically for now.
I'm actually glad everyone seems to have an update for me. So I'm just waiting for Mike's update.
Oh, Benny.
Where's your update?
Won't I read it? Why call him my name?
Okay, you know what? I'm just going to give you this last place to look out for. I'm currently on the Ojodu-Beja to CMS Garage axis. And I have good news for those on that route. As it is, it will take you just about 45 minutes to get to your destination. Yay, good news, right? So from Ojodu-Beja to CMS Garage, 45 minutes. There isn't so much traffic. In fact, the first gridlock you'd experience, and happens to be the only gridlock, okay, well, the most gridlock, will be on the Ojota Bridge. Just after Motorway Center, there's light traffic, and then some kind of congestion on the bridge, after which it eases out to light traffic. But it's mostly light traffic, okay? Freeway light traffic until you're even off the bridge. That's when you would experience another gridlock, but it's only for a short while. So don't worry, 45 minutes all the way from Ojodu-Beja straight to the island this morning. Isn't that fantastic? And talking about fantastic stuff, I know for sure that I'm going to join the guys in the kitchen right now, but I need you to please have consideration for all the road users. Drive carefully, okay? Be very careful, okay? All right.
And yes, as Mary said, please you all should drive carefully. There's usually this Monday rush. It's a race.
It's a race every Monday.
Race every Monday mornings, guys. Please let's take it easy on the roads. And unfortunately, yeah, there are a lot of road constructions ongoing. So not too many alternative routes and a lot of road diversions as well. So please, calm down. We'll all get to our destinations on time. Maybe not on time, but at least you get there. And what's most important is getting there safe and sound.
Of course.
And on Coffee Gist this morning, so yes. I stumbled on this tweet over the weekend. There's this popular Twitter influencer guy. So an entrepreneur reached out to him asking for him to promote her business on his page. And then he sends his rates, and baby girl cannot afford it because she's like, please, oh, she's upcoming, you know, she's still trying to grow her business, so the guy should help. And next thing, guy starts to say, okay, in this case, if you cannot afford cash, then you can do in kind.
Okay.
And starts to ask for her nudes.
Oh.
Okay. Then what happens?
And well, basically that's, and of course, she had to call him out on social media.
He's a big guy. He's a big influencer. Do we know?
Yes, he is a big influencer. I can't call out his name, of course. But if you caught up on the gist, you have an idea what I'm talking about over the weekend.
Okay.
And then, you know, other people started sharing their experiences as well with, you know, social media influencers and how they, you know, use their positions to just, you know, do anyhow, you know, treat people anyhow. And I mean, if you know, okay, at this point, I'm just even
I know how you feel. But first off, you called it a position. Who gave them this position is my question. One thing about social media influencer, anybody can be one these days. People will take advantage of any position to get what they want. However, I do note that this is nothing new. Whether you're an influencer, or people in different walks of life actually do this. Not that I'm espousing or saying that you can, it's okay, but it's something that's rampant in our society. People pay for kind, and it sort of seems like it's a currency now. It's expected. Okay, now if you can't pay money, what else can you do? Sometimes maybe not. The reference might not be sexual, but in this case, I guess it is because hey, it's directly.
That was actually what I was going to say. That sometimes it's not sexual. Sometimes it might be in the form of products. The reality is, many of these influencers, in quotes, have worked hard and paid a lot of money to get to being influencers, because people actually think influencers just, you know, woke up one morning. How many times have you posted really cool content and still you don't get followers? Are you getting the logic? Most of these guys, they have WhatsApp groups and they support one another in posting, in making themselves trend, in retweeting. You see Mba insulting himself for his bald head. That is just the scope he uses. That's for promoting himself. It's a lot of work. So when they attain that status, they have this godlike, I've arrived kind of thing. But
so
the issue,
is that enough reason to take advantage of people because you have attained
you're not taking
certain status based on how much you have spent on or invested on in yourself? Am I going to be the one to do the investment for you? Like, I don't understand.
You are missing the point here. I have a problem with asking people to pay for things in kind. I never said I was in support of it. I'm just telling you that if the person says, I don't want to do it for free, look for someone else to do it that might be interested. Because most of these influencers, Mike, I'm sure you have a few influencer friends. They don't even help their friends because this is their source of living.
Let me be very honest here. I don't have any problem with them asking for kind.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem.
Kind as in that thing?
No, see, this is what I was going to say. What kind of kind
even if it is sexual, I don't have a problem with that.
Listen to what he's saying.
No, but let's be serious. Even if it's sexual, I don't have a problem with that. You can say yes or no.
Okay.
You have an option to say yes or no. And truth be told, sometimes the people also offer it sexually. Say, look, let me pay like this.
Sometimes, yes, sadly.
Do you understand? So it's up to you to say yes or no. And let's be serious.
I'm actually really tired of people always preying on people's vulnerability.
Auntie, it's not that serious.
Based on circumstance.
it's not. See, look.
Yeah, but it is serious.
Look,
so what now? What, we can't help out each other because
why would you help out each other?
I have attained a no. Why can't?
Is
why
it not
can't
my
I?
business?
Why
would I help you? Give me something. See, look. My point is this. My point is that at some point or the other, it is currency. Let's not live in it is currency in some places. Think globally.
Mike, let me just say this.
In some parts, my point is that you have an option to say no.
And I agree.
And you don't have to. I'm truthful. You said no.
Unethical,
you don't. Unethical where?
That's
what you feel. See, look now. What is ethics?
This is what I'm going to say. While we're here breaking our heads over whether it's unethical or not ethical, have we asked ourselves whether the instance is actually true, or whether this person is just using this as
the person will have receipts now.
She actually
the person will have messages.
She actually screenshots messages.
You said no. Why did you call the guy
them.
out? Why did you call the guy out?
Yeah, because you're trying to say
it doesn't make sense. I can sue you, man. Why do you call him out? What if you actually screenshot? I mean, come on, man. That's invasion of my privacy of our private. Yes, you shouldn't.
People scream much less.
You shouldn't. You have to.
Okay,
Did you ask for permission?
Yeah, to some extent, I agree with Mike.
Did you ask for permission? Why would you screenshot our conversation?
People scream much less. Doesn't mean it's right.
That doesn't make sense.
The thing is this. Just what did he ask now? You remember the question he asked?
Is
it true?
It is.
So most times people have to.
Did you see the entire conversation?
She actually has backed it up with evidence. That is, she actually posted conversations between the both of them. And we saw the replies back and forth, back and forth. There was a conversation, you know, so...
No deleted messages in between?
That's very...
There were no deleted
messages. You can
messages.
change an entire concept just by erasing one line, you know?
We saw his name.
I know, but...
We saw his name.
On what platform? Instagram, Twitter?
On Twitter.
Look, man,
you can erase messages.
Look, that's defamation, man. You put our chats that we're not supposed to, man. Come on, man. You shouldn't.
Anyways,
it's wrong.
The crux of this conversation is if you're in a position to help someone out.
Why would you put
I mean, the essence of, you know, having a better society is I can help you and you can help me out. I mean, we have to be our I think we need to get to that point where we need to, you know, intentionally be our brother's keeper. Look out for me while I look out for you. I mean, like, it really doesn't have to be, you know.
But this thing you're saying is just like now. You and I work in a TV station. I work in a radio station. Now, a friend of mine calls me and says, thank God I have a friend that works in TV. Please, can you help me advertise my products? If I advertise your products, how will my salary get paid? I'm just trying to be as realistic as possible.
We hear you,
my
Mary.
only problem
we
is
hear
don't
you,
ask
MM.
in kind.
I'm
That's
sure everybody
mine.
does. Listen, hey, let's just move on now because we have plenty in store for you on the show here today. This conversation might carry on even on social media. So if you have any input, do send it in and use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. We'll be expecting those. All right, then, it's round 2 on the 3-hour marathon of Wake Up Nigeria. And if you're just joining us, welcome, everybody, one and all.
Welcome.
Yes,
Okay,
indeed.
so I'm going to leave my singing thing in the first
Don't,
hour.
not this time.
But really, the beautiful thing about Monday is that it provides us a fresh opportunity
Absolutely.
to start all over again and make things happen, most importantly.
Yes, so as you know, we are not a race, but we're in the non-stop marathon of non-stop family entertainment. I like to say that all the time. So
That's really cool. Non-stop.
Non-stop, yeah.
Marathon. Okay, nice.
It's definitely going to be a fun Monday here on the show. As you already know, my name is Mazino Appeal.
And I am Mary Bashua Alimi. Now, we are streaming live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect. So make sure you send in your comments using the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Remember, at TVC Connect.
Yes, indeed. And we have an app, just in case you didn't know, or if you know, let's just remind you. It's available for download at both Android and iOS stores. The app allows you to watch us from anywhere you might be in the world, or maybe even if you're moving around in Lagos as well.
That's right.
Yeah, we remind you once again to subscribe to our YouTube channel, tvcentertainment.tv.
Yes,
Very
and
simple.
you can also join us on IG Live. We cannot say this enough. That's on Fridays at 2:30 p.m. as we bring someone special for a chat.
Last week we actually spoke with Larry Gaga. Very interesting conversation. Actually enjoyed it. Discovered a few things about him which were quite interesting. So join us for this week's one, 2:30 on Friday. That's PM, by the way.
Okay.
Alrighty.
MM is in the kitchen.
Oh, MM, who do we have here
And
today?
she's got something smoky going on there.
Yes,
Yes.
I do. Making his debut on the show this morning is Chef Smoke. Can you see him? Can you see the steam oozing out of him? Yes. So he's going to be making something very enticing. I'm very stoked about this one, guys.
Girl,
so just calm
internal
down. Wait.
joke.
Don't change that down.
No, I was
Don't
going to say
change
something. Internal joke. Who is going to be wishing she's next to him right now?
it. Who's going to what?
Be wishing she's next to him right now.
Well, me. Oh, yeah.
Now you get it.
Got
Now you
that.
get it.
Really? Now we know. We thought it was only tie.
All
Things
right,
are
I got that.
It's all good.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay, from there, let's just move straight to the highlights.
Yes, indeed. Coming
All
up
right.
shortly, this week in history, we'll be taking a trip down memory lane to check out the most significant moments that happened this week a long time ago.
Yes. Being honest, I actually do
You
enjoy
talk with him
it.
alone. It's supposed to be
Okay,
you. You'll be with him alone.
Today is actually World Superhuman Day.
Are you just got somebody like that? Okay.
Don't mind that. Somebody
I
that's
need to
going to
mention
look
that
for.
since we are all,
I'm
because we don't
interested.
have enough time.
I'm interested. What's it about?
And it's particularly to commemorate people with disability,
All right.
to celebrate them.
Yes.
And yeah, so I did a feature documentary on three women that I thought they were inspiring in their different spaces earlier this year. One was Adenike Oyetunde. I mean, we know her. She's an author. She also owns a foundation that caters to people with disability, and also helps to fund and empower them as well. I also did. I've also featured Christina Akirimade. She's blind. She's an entrepreneur. She also trains. And then a popular Instagram influencer. Her name is Miriam. Amazing lady. She does amazing things. She has over like 200,000 followers on Instagram. Amazing stuff that those women do.
You know, I don't really have to
inspired by them.
Reach far. Whenever people are talking about disability, I don't really see them as disabled.
Yeah.
I see them as over-enabled in some cases. Take, for example, Victor Otuya on 102.3 Max FM.
Yeah.
Many people don't know that, yes, he's a newsreader. He's famous for newsreading.
Okay.
But he's actually blind. Like, Victor cannot see, but he reads very well using
And
Braille.
he's got a great voice.
And
as
he's
well.
got a great voice, you know.
Guess what?
What?
I'm only just finding that out.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yes, the Victor Otuya, whose news you listen
Yeah.
to on 102.3 Max FM, is blind.
Wow.
Yeah, he's visually
He's
impaired.
visually
He actually
impaired.
reads, he does his research himself, edits his news, reads it himself using Braille technology.
Will he be in today? I have to meet him.
He should be in tomorrow. I don't think he's
Wow.
in today.
That's
but he should be in
interesting.
tomorry. If he is, I'll let you know.
Okay,
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Let me know.
Amazing, really.
Yes.
And
So we
talking about
celebrate you
inspiring
today
things-
on Wake Up Nigeria. Got to move on to the news.
Yes, and I know for sure Mazino is all like...
Okay,
very
let's do it.
pretty.
I'm dressed for it anyway. All right, so 30.5 billion naira, that's the amount the federal government says it spent in 4 months to combat COVID-19. This revelation is in response to a Freedom of Information request by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project and Connected Development. SERAP Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare and CODE Chief Executive Officer Hamzat Lawal, who signed the letter, had asked the government to give a breakdown of how the money was spent. Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, said the amount spent represents 84% of 36.3 billion naira COVID-19 donations received from April to July. The civil society groups said that the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 spent 22 billion naira and 36 states spent 7 billion naira to support their COVID-19 initiatives. Nigerian Air Force spent 877 million naira for deployment of assets in support of COVID-19 operations, while the Nigeria Police spent 500 million naira on personal protective equipment. 17,865 naira 9 kobo was paid as bank charges. They added that 150 Nigerians donated between 1 and 100 naira to support the authorities' efforts to fight COVID-19. Though the two civil society groups are somewhat satisfied that they got a response, but want details on the spending of 34.4 billion naira between April and July, and details on plans to spend the balance of 5.9 billion naira in the COVID-19 eradication support accounts. 2 suspects are in the custody of the Nigeria police for their involvement in a multi-million euro scam linked to the procurement of COVID-19 personal protective equipment. 50-year-old Babatunde Adesanya, also known as Teddy, and 41-year-old Akinpelu Hassan were arrested for allegedly defrauding a German company of 14.7 million euros. According to the Force spokesman, Frank Mba, the suspects cloned the corporate website of ILBN Holdings BV, Holland, to defraud one Freiherr Frederick von Hahn, a representative of the German state of North Rhine-Westphalia. According to the Force public relations officer, the suspects fraudulently obtained from Mr. Freiherr von Hahn the sum of 1.5 million euros and another 880,000 euros as advance payment for the supply of COVID-19 PPEs valued at 14.7 million euros. Investigation by Interpol Nigeria further revealed that Babatunde Adesanya received 498,000 euros through his Citibank London account and transferred same to an account domiciled with a leading commercial bank in Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari is set to attend the 57th ordinary session of the Economic Community of West Africa States in Niamey, the capital of Niger Republic. COVID-19, the economic security and democracy are expected to top the agenda at Monday's meeting. As the region's champion on the fight against COVID-19, President Buhari is expected to present a special report on the sub-regional response to the pandemic. Senior Special Assistant to the President Gabasheo says the leaders would also receive a special report on the ECOWAS single currency program. The President of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean Brou, will also present the 2020 interim report on activities of the sub-regional body, including ECOWAS Vision 2050. The alarming rise in incidents of terrorism, insurgency, armed banditry, and piracy will also come under focus, while the disruption of the democratic process by the military in Mali will receive further attention. Similarly, in Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, Guinea and Niger, where parliamentary and presidential elections are scheduled for this year, the imperative to strengthen democracy by respecting constitutional provisions and rule of law will be emphasized. President Buhari will be accompanied to the summit by ministers and other top government officials. And that's the news update for this hour. Mary has sports update in just about a bit.
Wow, we're having a laugh here in the studio. Halima. Wow, interesting stuff happening here on Wake Up Nigeria. Now we're in the kitchen, and guess who's about to set this place on fire? Not literally, though. Chef Smoke. Welcome. All right, so he's making his debut on the show this morning, and he is taking us to the U.S. with his recipe. He is making...
I'm making a buffalo chicken sandwich.
Buffalo chicken sandwich. You can't get this anywhere else in Nigeria except on Wake Up Nigeria, guys. Yeah. And I don't mean to wash you. So now let's talk about the ingredients we'll be making do with.
Yeah. We have shredded cheese.
That's Parmesan cheese.
Yeah. We have butter.
Okay.
We have marinated chicken, breast chicken. We have chicken sausage.
Okay.
Lettuce, tomato, and some French loaf.
Yeah. And let's talk about the spices we'll be working with.
Yeah, we'll be working with mainly French dressing.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to be making a buffalo sauce. Yeah, with a butter and a hot sauce to give us a buffalo styled sauce.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll be marinating it with the chicken and placing it on the French toast. Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about what you used in marinating the chicken.
Yeah, I marinated chicken with Italian seasoning.
Okay, just Italian seasoning, seasonings, no...
Just barbecue seasoning and Italian seasoning. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. Great stuff happening here on the show. Like I said earlier on this morning, this is Chef Smoke. He's making his debut on the show. Now let's get cooking. Okay. So what are we doing first?
We're going to be grilling the chicken first.
Okay, and we are making use of olive oil.
Olive oil.
I mean, we cannot overemphasize it when we say that olive oil is the healthiest of all of the oils. So it's always better. I know it's expensive, guys, but hey, they say health is wealth, right? Now what's next?
Yeah.
Oh, that pan is really hot.
Yeah, really hot.
Yeah.
I love you hot.
So are we pan-searing it?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, nice. You could also grill the chicken, right?
Yeah, you can also grill the chicken.
Use the cooker.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're just joining us this morning, us in the kitchen is Chef Smoke. And this morning he'll be making buffalo chicken sandwich. Yes, I know. It's a different kind of sandwich. We always want to bring you the very best here when it comes to food on Wake Up Nigeria. So how long are we going to leave this to cook for?
5 minutes on the first side and 5 minutes on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you make sure that all of the sides are well
cooked.
Yeah. Great. And I'm guessing we are just going to toss in the chicken sausages later on.
Yeah, after this.
Once that is ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So apart from French toast, what other breads can we use? I mean, we have, this is like a baguette.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You can use any other bread, but it's always cool to use a French toast.
Okay. Yeah. What about the burger kind of bread?
Yeah, that's going to be something else.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's why it's actually called burger. All right, great. Nice.
I'm getting there.
Okay, so that's almost ready. Yeah. So I'm guessing when doing this, you have to make sure that your chicken is well done.
Well done.
Yeah, don't rush. I know. It seems it's so enticing. You are in a hurry, you want to eat it quickly, but just make sure that your chicken is well done. I mean, to get the best out of your chicken sandwich, right? Yeah. Make sure you take your time. So what's actually making this recipe buffalo?
Buffalo is a styled recipe.
Okay.
When you combine it with butter and hot sauce, it gives you a buffalo sauce.
Oh. Yeah. So buffalo is basically hot sauce and butter.
Butter.
Oh, nice. Whoever thought? Whoever thought? Because usually when you hear buffalo wings, it was like, it's peppery. Yeah. It's so spicy.
Use it mainly for wings.
Wings and barbecue chicken. Yeah. But this time we're actually.
It's actually good with this.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm trying to like picture all of those flavors, you know, alongside your French toast in your mouth when it's ready. Wow, burst of excitement.
It is juicy and creamy.
Yeah, I can see Mike looking around, you know. Mike, this is not school beer. Leave here. Okay, so guys, quickly before we run off, let's wrap up with letting you know what we are making. So this morning we are making buffalo chicken sandwich. Here is Chef Smoke, and the ingredients we're working with this morning, we have our French toast, we have our tomatoes, well sliced, as you can see here. We have our lettuce, red chili sauce, buffalo hot sauce, French sauce. We have our mayonnaise, we have our Parmesan cheese, butter, and our chicken sausage. And of course, the main ingredient here is the chicken, which is cooking already with olive oil. And the chicken has already been seasoned with Italian sauce. Yeah. So we're just going to wait for that to, you know, cook up nicely while we take this on a break. And we'll be right back.
Okay, so they say you can't have a life without a story.
Okay.
Which is why we talk about history.
True.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just feel like I just had to put
Nice
that in.
one, you're fluent.
Okay, but seriously though, let's take a look at this week's highlights in history.
Okay.
We begin from September 7th, which happens to be today.
Okay.
This actually occurred in 1992. South Africa soldiers fire on demonstrators in Visho massacre. Now, soldiers fire indiscriminately into African National Congress demonstrators on the border of Ciskei in South Africa, killing 24 and injuring 150 more. The demonstration had attracted 50,000 people, and this was as a result of the memorandum sent by the ANC to President F.W. de Klerk, demanding that he replace Kozo with an interim administration which would permit free democratic activity in Ciskei. Now, as a result of this, the ANC organized a protest march to force Kozo to resign. And so many people were killed.
I think there's a movie on that one, if I'm not mistaken. Or it's made certain references in certain movies all the time. But yeah. All right, so let's do another one. September 7th, yet again, 1996, rapper Tupac Shakur was shot. The controversial rapper Tupac Shakur, we know him as Tupac, who had been involved with gang violence between rival gangs and had spent time in prison, was shot on the Las Vegas Strip. Identity of gunman, even till this day, is yet unknown. He died 6 days later at the age of 25, born Lassane Parish Crooks in June 16th, 1971. Much of his work has been noted for addressing contemporary social issues that plagued inner cities, and he is considered a symbol of resistance and activism against inequality. So I guess today you're going to be seeing plenty of his, or hearing plenty of his stuff on radio, seeing plenty of his pictures on Instagram and all of that. I mean, he was an icon, let's put it so, for music at the time. And even up until today, there's still plenty of references that's made to his kind of music and how it's influenced music onward from that time.
Especially the rap music genre.
The rap, exactly.
You cannot, you know, talking about even his death, his being shot and all. There have been so many.
I'm traveling, when I drive, the rare occasions when I drive, that's always the first song that I play setting out of Lagos. It's always, I always play it all the time. I just love the sound. It's my best Tupac one, featuring, what's the name again, on that. But I love it. Love the sound. It's just nostalgic for me. You're still dancing.
Okay. Oh, I didn't realize. But let's move on to September 8th, 1986, when Oprah Winfrey Show aired for the very first time the widely popular daytime talk.
Age, and if you noticed, it's Harpo spelled backwards. My folks did not particularly like Harpo Marx. We did not even have a television set in our home for a number of years. Originally, I was named from the Bible by Aunt Ida, who named me from Ruth, the 1st chapter and the 14th verse, Orpah, but no one knew how to spell in my home, and that's why it ended up being Oprah.
Well, that's
really
look at the evolution between what she looked like from back then and what she, you know, the first clip. And I'm putting a challenge out to our producers to actually find our very first audition tapes here on Wake Up Nigeria. I'm sure mine is going to be the first one they'll find.
Yeah, but everybody
Don't do it.
Well, I don't think any of us looks much different from the way we use.
Are you sure?
Yeah, maybe a little chubbier, perhaps.
You are beautiful.
Or
regardless.
Thank you.
Alrighty,
okay,
now.
so moving on.
1974, President Ford pardons Nixon. Gerald R. Ford, the 38th President of the United States, issued Proclamation 4311, which pardoned his predecessor, Richard Nixon.
You know, it's funny how some of our choices, especially while we are in authority, can affect us. It's quite similar to what we're talking about during the coffee gist.
Yeah.
So just imagine 10, 15 years down the line, the guy is running for a political office, and someone says,
is it not you?
Is it
from
not
that
you?
time?
You that sent her DM and tell people to send you.
You don't even need to go far. Exactly. You don't need to go far these days. Everything you actually put out there, whether it's you and I talking right now, or especially on social media, will actually have an impact on what people. Let's take a look at this.
It will definitely have an effect. Okay.
On previous occasions, my customary policy is to try and get all the facts and to consider the opinions of my countrymen and to take counsel with my most valued friends. But these seldom agree, and in the end, the decision is mine. To procrastinate, to agonize, and to wait for a more favorable turn of events that may never come, or more compelling external pressures that may as well be wrong as right, is itself a decision of sorts and a weak and potentially dangerous course for a president to follow.
Okay, so pardon, president should pardon and all.
Who's going to pardon Trump?
Okay, in 1991, Mike Tyson, the boxer, was indicted in Indianapolis on a charge of raping Desiree Washington, a beauty pageant contestant. Tyson was convicted and ended up serving 3 years of a 6-year prison sentence. That's one that people still talk about today.
Up until.
Up until now. However, he's had a very good career so far, trying to come back again. And, you know, you just wonder why people make certain choices. You just wonder.
Let's see this clip
Charlie
here.
Steiner. Even though there was a change of champion this year in boxing, the biggest story by far did not take place in the ring. It took place in a courthouse in downtown Indianapolis, where the former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson lost the biggest fight of his life to a 108-pound opponent.
The satellite trucks beamed the news. Ticket scalpers were very much in evidence, and Don King was there for Mike Tyson's most important fight. Not in the ring, but in Judge Patricia Gifford's courtroom in downtown Indianapolis. Following the Clarence Thomas hearings in the William Kennedy Smith trial, the Tyson case would be pivotal in the way we view date rape and sexual relations in this country. Tyson's daily arrivals and departures became a staple of the nightly network news shows. There were no cameras allowed inside the courtroom, so artist drawings and good old-fashioned journalism would tell the story chapter by daily chapter. The prosecution team...
I've never really understood rape. Like, there's several willing females and even people who can get paid to satisfy you. So, why?
Yeah, well, he's paid for that. One of the fiercest moments in TV interview history was one interview that he gave on TV, Mike Tyson now. And the question was asked about the death of his daughter. And if you had seen, and I think I'm going to let you see that video sometime soon, the change in character and the fire in his eyes when he started talking about that, and his slow downward spiral into drugs, it sends chills down my spine. And I'll let you see that after the show.
Okay, let's take a look at this.
Oh, no, let's move on. We have to move on.
Yeah, we should.
So, September 11th. Now, as 19 Al-Qaeda members actually hijacked 4 passenger jetliners, sending 2 of the planes smashing into New York's World Trade Center, 1 into the Pentagon, and 4th one into the field in western Pennsylvania, resulting in nearly 3,000 deaths.
This, for me, one of the scariest days in the world. And it's one of the reasons I read about Osama bin Laden. I actually read a book about him from the point of view of his wife, one of his wives, and his sons. And, you know, the thing is, people who do things that people cannot connect with a human often do it with a good intention.
Yeah.
But the problem is, your good intention on the long run, how many people does it hurt?
Yeah.
It's a very scary one. It is.
I remember that day. I was actually on air, on radio, when it happened. And it was such a shock because nobody saw the first plane crash, but everybody witnessed the second one because you weren't expecting that to happen.
Yeah.
And then boom. And we all couldn't believe that we actually just witnessed that. Even it being on TV, it was still such a shock. And even up until the next day, I was still traumatized, I think, all week long.
Yeah.
So I think this week is going to be a very solemn week around the world, especially at these times.
And then ever since, and even before then, there were several terrorist attacks. And ever since, it just seems to have taken the world by storm. All over the world now, you see a lot of terrorist attacks. We have ours to deal with in Nigeria, for example.
True.
It's really worrisome. Yes, good intentions, but we're talking about lives here. It's important to at least have a thought for different families being affected by the people being killed. Anyway, before we go into motivational
I know, right?
talk, a little too early for motivation. I know that is coming up shortly. Let's take this break. We'll be right back on Wake Up Nigeria.
Welcome back. You're still on to Wake Up Nigeria. And of course, with me in the kitchen this morning is Chef Smoke, bringing the house down as usual. All right, so this morning we are making buffalo chicken sandwich. Interesting, right? I know. All right, so let's talk about the ingredients quickly and get to where we're at. Over to you, Chef Smoke.
Okay. Now,
Let's talk about the ingredients we're working with first.
okay. We're going to be working with the French toast, tomato. We have lettuce here. We have butter and shredded cheese. We have olive oil, mayonnaise, French dressing, buffalo hot sauce, and chili sauce.
Nicely done. On your screen right there, the ingredients, just in case you missed out on any one. And what we have done so far is marinate our chicken and we pan-seared it lightly, right?
Yeah.
Great. So what's next?
Now dice the chicken. After dicing the chicken, we have to mix it up with our buffalo sauce.
Okay.
Then fill it in our French toast.
Okay. Can we like pause on the chicken for now and just show people how to make the buffalo sauce?
Okay.
Because I mean, without the chicken, there is no sauce, and without the sauce, there is no chicken. So we have finished the first phase, which is making sure that our chicken is good to go. But we also have to show you how we made or how we're going to make our buffalo sauce.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Great. So let's get to it.
Start with the butter first.
Okay.
Make it melt.
And please, we need to also let them know what kind of butter we're using. I'm not talking of the brand now, but what
cooking
kind
butter.
they should go out for, the cooking butter.
butter, yeah.
So we can also use margarines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so when that is ready, what's next?
I had the buffalo hot sauce.
Okay, so you just tell me and I'll just pass it over to you, right? Great. Okay. So what makes this different from every other sandwich basically is the buffalo sauce. And that's because the buffalo sauce is very hot. That's why it's called the buffalo sauce. It's actually supposed to be hot and spicy. All right. So while we are allowing that mix, in gradually, let's talk about you and how long you have been. You've been doing this for over 7 years.
Yeah, that's 7
How
years.
has it been so far? Has it been lucrative? Has it been profitable?
It's been comfortable. I learn every day.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Nice.
I actually started with just jollof rice and Chapman. Then from there, I started barbecue. And
you have now become a pro.
yeah, kind of.
You know, not everyone knows how to make barbecue. Yes. But I think the easiest way basically is just to go to the grocery store and grab your barbecue sauce, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just there. You don't have to. But you can also make it like a homemade barbecue sauce,
Yeah,
right?
you can make your own homemade barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, what did you put in there right now?
Add chili, hot sauce to it, red
Okay.
chili sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I mentioned to you guys earlier on that the buffalo sauce basically is supposed to be peppery. Yeah, so you have the buffalo sauce in there, buffalo hot sauce, that is hot. And then you have the chili sauce, and that is hot. And I saw paprika somewhere, right?
Yeah, I mixed it with, I added it to the chicken, yeah.
Great,
So,
great.
that's
So
good.
is that all? Or
Yes,
there's still
this is
other
all,
things
this
going
is
in?
all.
Okay.
We put we add a little French dressing to it.
Nice. All right. Great stuff happening here in the kitchen. We have Chef Smoke. And as you can see, this place is literally lit. I'm not even joking. Like lit. And we are making buffalo chicken sandwich. Looks like an interesting recipe. Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. All right, at this point we gotta, pause here. No, not the cooking, that's gonna go on. But we have some motivation to teach you this morning on leadership. And of course, Mary is on standby for that. Hey, Mary.
Hi, Thank you so much. As she said, it's time for some motivation. And today we have been joined by a renowned leadership development strategist, Kemi Ogunkoya, to talk about establishing the foundation for transgenerational leadership. Kemi is known to help our corporate organization enjoy, that's corporate organization rather, enjoy seamless leadership transition. And it's such a pleasure to have you on the show, Kemi. Welcome. Kemi,
thank you.
Okay.
It is such a great delight to be here. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Now, Kemi, one of the challenges of many organizations is a transition because one person seems to have his hands in every pie and he seems to have total control over it. And unfortunately, because that's life, the person has to leave the position for someone else. Now, that person might have some know-how, but how then do you really have it move smoothly to another person without any issues? I know that's what we're talking about regarding seamless, but you need to tell us more.
Okay, fine. So when we talk about transition in leadership, it's not something that happens by accident. It's something that happens intentionally. So which means that there has to be a plan in place to reproduce and raise other leaders within an organization that will be able to fill that leadership gap at every point in time. So this brings us to having conversations around things like sustainability planning within the organization, such that when we recruit people into systems, into organizations, from the very first day, we have a plan to help them ascend to the top of the organization. So, but what happens a lot of times is that when people come in, because there's no clear structure within the organization, people don't really have a path to grow within the organization. But when we have a clear sustainability plan, when we have a plan that helps people understand just how to transcend from one point and constantly coaching and mentoring them through the ranks, while also giving them the adequate responsibility to grow, it will help us build organizations where we do not have the lacuna as we see, within organizations today. So it takes deliberate practice, it takes structure and systems within organization, but most importantly, it takes the willingness of management within the organization to want to have leadership structure in place that can be reproduced and sustained over a long period of time.
Okay, now, Kemi, there are certain situations where somebody is being groomed for the leadership position, okay? And then someone else is now brought in from another organization, of course, because of the know-how or, the experience the person is bringing. And so that person is then placed in the position of leadership. Now, we're talking about seamless leadership transition, talking about one leader handing over to another. But in such a situation where the new person doesn't meet the previous person, what then happens?
Okay, so I think what happens is there will be a problem, right? There will be a problem within that system. Okay. And I think that's why it's important that business leaders get to that point where they understand just how important it is to hold on to set structures, right? When we talk about transition and leadership, it absolutely goes beyond sentiment. It goes beyond, preference. It's about what is the best decision that we can make to secure the future of the organization? And if we put that at the forefront of what governs within organization, then we can have a system, or we can have organizations that will be built based on healthy practice, but also best practices too. So when we bring in people from outside, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's the structure of the organization. But then what we advocate for is that organizations and businesses start raising capacity within the organization and start grooming leaders for future leadership positions.
Okay. Now, there's something you mentioned about emotions, okay? Taking out the emotion or preferences, saying, I like this person, I want to take this person to this level and all. Now, there's no denying the fact that this happens. People decide upon somebody because they like the person's style or they like the way the person talks. Now, when such a thing happens, say, for example, you take that person to a position of authority, how do you manage it so much so that the sentiments involved do not affect that transition?
Okay, so like I said, right, organizations need to get to that point where it's about what's in the best, what's the best decision, what's in the best interest for the organization. So when we're talking about not allowing emotions get in the play, then of course we're talking about how we can raise leaders within organization who have a strong sense of self-awareness, who are emotionally intelligent, and are able to separate their emotions from what is in the best interest of the organization. Remembering that the quality and effectiveness of leadership within organizations will be the determinant for organizations that will die, those that will barely survive, and those that will thrive. So business leaders need to get to that point where it's, about separating their emotions. Fine, we all have feelings, and there are times that our feelings may get in our way, but as business leaders, we need to get to that point where we can master our feelings, where we can go beyond sentiments, and then pretty much think of what is in the best interest of the organization and do exactly what is needed for that. So it will definitely boil down to an increased level of self-awareness. It will boil down to increased level of emotional intelligence. It will boil down to the ability for some business leaders to be able to make the right call and be comfortable with making really tough decisions.
Wow. I actually was going to ask you about how to finally, how to really make this leadership transition really work out well. But unfortunately, we don't have enough time. Either way, though, I really must thank you for your time. Thank you so much for imparting your knowledge with us. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, and that's about it for the second hour. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying second hour. But yes, the second hour on Wake Up Nigeria is over, and we still have 45 minutes left to go. And we need you on the other side, so stay with us, okay? Wake Up Nigeria continues.
Obviously.
I'm feeling really good. And starting the week with the right breakfast show gives you an edge. And it's great that you chose to stay with us and, of course, start your day with us because we have we pay attention all the time to the array of content that goes into every episode. Like, we don't joke. We might be laughing here, but man, we're putting everything
This is serious business. You better believe it. So It's funny how at top of the third hour, you are fully into the show already, and it feels sad to know that in 45 minutes it's all going to be over. But don't you worry, we'll keep you going even after. So, hey, we'll tell you all the different means by which you can.
Yes, the last 2 hours has been solid.
Absolutely.
I actually thought of someone who likes to use that word.
Who did?
And I can bet the person has something to do with this.
Oh.
So Olamide will go solid. Yeah, so the last 2 hours have been solid. And the next 45 minutes will be even stronger.
Even better, you bet. We appreciate you for starting the week with us. Thank you very much. The show gets better even now. Next 45 minutes, like Mary has just said.
Yes, you know, Wake Up Nigeria remains your one-stop show for everything family-oriented and, of course, lifestyle. My name is Mary Bashir Ali.
And I am Azino Appeal. Do not miss this great experience by streaming live. If you have to leave the house right now, tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect. Send in comments. We like to read them using the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
And talking about TVC, of course, we have the app. It's available for download at both Android and iOS stores. Now, this app allows you to watch us from absolutely anywhere in the world.
So, hey, we will like to remind you guys once again to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We say this every single time. It's tvcentertainment.tv. Please do that already.
Yeah, and you can join us on IG Live on Fridays at 2:30 p.m. as we bring you someone special for a chat.
All right.
And then with all the fire going on in the kitchen,
Yes, I know,
Chef
right?
Smoke giving us buffalo sandwich
As
with
in the
so
weekend.
much pepper. Hey,
We're already filled up right now, but we
wow.
can't wait to get in the kitchen.
I actually thought all the pepper today is from MM. She's looking so hot.
Pepper
Trust
them.
me, and the extra spice on this
look at that.
recipe. You bet that.
Okay, let's check out what we have left on the show, shall we?
Sure.
We are super excited because SME is back. Did you miss it? I know I missed it. So much to learn, really. Today we will have Oluwaseyi Acer, the creative director and founder of Acer Films Limited.
We just have a few seconds.
Do you guys have jobs?
You went right into it.
Yes,
But
like you have a job.
You know, probably tomorrow we'll spend more time
Yes,
on
we
this. But
should.
there's a video online trending, and it's shocking, I must say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the level of influence you expect Pastor David Ibiomi, and you know, it's been trending from last night to this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kind of words that were said, and you're expecting that this kind of person will have an influence. And well, I don't have any problem with saying me that broadcasters now we don't have jobs. It's okay, give us job.
What's the instance exactly? What exactly happened? Why?
Apparently he's angry that Daddy Freeze insulted his own father. But my point is,
he was referring to God actually when he said
No. He was actually referring to Pastor Oyedepo.
Oh,
So-
exactly.
Who is his mentor in the
well,
ministry.
but
and-
what is just shocking to me is the kind of words that were used.
The assault.
Yeah.
Kind of, it's, you know, we spoke about arresting, spoke about killing, spoke about being a half-caste, Somalian, as to, you know,
Yeah.
shocking. But that for me.
Yeah,
From a preacher.
I know we're going to talk about it tomorrow, but let's be realistic, and I need to establish this now. I do not believe any child is a BSTARD because every child was fathered by somebody. It's now a case of the father not accepting responsibility or not wanting to have anything to do with the child. For goodness sake, children don't fall from the sky. Somebody definitely put something somewhere. And so I find it really worrisome to hear people referring to children who have no choice on how they are born, you know, calling them names. In Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, we all have names for it, and I think it's absolutely wrong. But we'll talk more about this tomorrow, so you can actually get a feel of what we're talking about. But you can check it online.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can check it online.
It's trending.
For the most of us, I think it's also the reference to broadcasters not.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you, do you have a job?
You see some Mazina about to read the news now. He doesn't have a job.
Mazino doesn't have a job. He's just reading the news.
He's living his purpose.
He's living it. He got it. Motivation.
We have to do the news now. This is the job we're paid to do, and we bring it to you because you absolutely need to hear it. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, someone.
30.5 billion naira. That's the sum the federal government says it has spent in 4 months to combat COVID-19. This revelation is in response to a Freedom of Information request by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project and Connected Development SERAP Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadari and CODE Chief Executive Officer Hamzat Lawal, who signed the letter, had asked the government to give a breakdown of how the money was spent. Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, said the amount spent represents 84% of 36.3 billion naira COVID-19 donations received from April to July. The civil society group said that The presidential task force on COVID-19 spent 22 billion naira, and 36 states spent 7 billion naira to support their COVID-19 initiatives. Nigerian Air Force spent 877 million naira for deployment of assets in support of COVID-19 operations, while the Nigeria Police spent 500 million naira on personal protective equipment. 17,865 naira 9 kobo was paid as bank charges. They added that 150 Nigerians donated between 1 naira and 100 naira to support the authorities' efforts to fight COVID-19. Though the two civil society groups are somewhat satisfied, they got a response, but want details on the spending of 34.4 billion naira between April and July, and details on plans to spend the balance of 5.9 billion naira, the COVID-19 eradication support accounts. Two suspects are in the custody of the Nigerian police for their involvement in a multi-million euro scam linked to the procurement of COVID-19 personal protective equipment. 50-year-old Babatunde Adesanya, also known as Teddy, and 41-year-old Akinpelu Hassan were arrested for allegedly defrauding a German company of 14.7 million euros. According to the force spokesman, Frank Kumba, the suspects cloned the corporate website of ILBN Holdings BV Holland to defraud one Freya Frederick von Hahn, a representative of the German state of North Rhine-Westphalia. According to the force public relations officer, the suspects fraudulently obtained from Mr. Freya Frederick von Hahn the sum of 1.5 million euros and another 880,000 euros as advanced payment for the supply of COVID-19 PPEs valued at 14.7 million euros. Investigation by Interpol Nigeria further revealed that Babatunde Adesanya received 498,000 euros through his Citibank London account and transferred same to an account domiciled with a leading commercial bank in Nigeria. All right, now, welcome back. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. Now with us today, Oluseyi Asuf is the creative director and the founder of Asuf Films Limited, a leading film, TV and commercial production company with unparalleled production services and management across all media in Nigeria. So he has joined us here today to share his film making process and the tools he uses to make them. You're welcome, Oluseyi. Good to have you here.
Same here, brother.
Do people tell you that you look like Leko?
I get that, you know.
Just saying, but you're welcome.
Thank
so
you.
First off, I've got tons of questions for you, but I'm going to start from the very beginning. You're a videographer, yeah?
Yes.
And this is your business. You started off, as we told from earlier.
Yeah.
Tell us about your art, first of all, being a videographer and how you got started.
It's fun to have the power to create, you know. It gives you the mini God kind of space. I learned everything online, and I would say, looking back, it's just been fun.
Okay.
To be able to build life, create business from just learning stuff online.
Wait, first off, I got what you said there. You said you learned online, so you didn't attend any schools when you started. You just how exactly do people or can people learn online?
You watch videos on YouTube, Google, subscribe to some of these film blogs, and yeah.
So you're saying just from learning from online, you've been able to create an entire career from all of this. Are there many people like you?
I think there are a lot of people like me, you know. The advent of internet has made it easier to actually learn a lot of stuff online now.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting. So your production company, how big is it? What is the extent of endeavors that you guys have done?
Internally, we have about 15 full staff.
Okay.
And we have like 2 in UK and 2 in US as well.
Okay, in the UK?
Yes, and also in the US.
Let me get this straight. You started online here in Nigeria. You've progressed big enough to actually say that you have members of staff who are in the UK.
And also in the US.
And in the US as well. Yeah. So what do they do out there?
So we have a streaming platform. We also distribute short-form content as well. So they curate and they also create for some of our platforms in Nigeria.
Okay, so now I'm really curious and I really want to get started. Let's just say that I'm a young man in Nigeria, looking at you who has staff outside the country. Yeah. How do I exactly get started? Apart from learning from online, what else do I have to do after I get these knowledge?
I think looking from afar, it looks intimidating.
Yeah, it does.
When you look at the big cameras, the big screen and all of that. So when I get that question, I always advise people the best camera you can always start with is that you can afford.
And which is it?
Which is your smartphone. Today's phone is quite equipped with a lot of features.
Okay.
Like my Samsung, we did a short film on Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra recently.
Okay.
And it has like 3 cameras.
Okay.
Like ultra wide, a wide angle, and a telephoto camera on it.
So you're saying something like this?
Yes.
Can actually shoot.
Can actually shoot a movie with something like this.
Oh, okay.
And the good thing with your smartphone is, the basic is not to create video. You're getting your smartphone to make calls, send message, and all of that.
Exactly.
But the camera on it is like an advantage. And if you can't afford the big camera, it just makes sense to check what you have in your palm.
I'm very curious.
Let
Let me see that. Let me see that phone once more.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's basic. It's a phone just like
It's
any
not
other.
it's not just a phone. It has 8K camera on
Sorry,
it.
your girlfriend's text is showing. let me remove that. But this is what is this again?
So that's Note 20 Ultra.
The Note 20 Ultra.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's got 3 cameras on here.
Yeah.
Why exactly is this like a very good tool to start with?
It can shoot high resolution, like 8K.
Okay.
So in one frame, you can literally crop different composition out of it.
Okay.
And that's massive.
What is this 8K, 4K I keep
That's in
hearing?
resolution.
Resolution.
Like the size of the screen that you
Okay.
can capture at the time.
Okay. Okay. So I can shoot an entire video, an entire movie, like you have done.
If you can afford the big cameras,
If you can't afford
you
it.
can definitely do it with a camera phone.
So you're saying that time will come when we will no longer really need to start lugging about these huge cameras and lights and everything. All we might need is just a flat device like the Samsung phone that you're holding.
I'll say the power that this gives you. Like the
Flexibility.
Yes. Most especially for starters. When I say intimidating, I mean, look at the crew, the team, and everybody. With your smartphone, like this has a video stabilizer in there. And if you have to do this on a normal traditional filmmaking, you definitely need extra gears like a gimbal. You need someone to operate that. Whereas with your smartphone, just you behind the camera, you can do all of that.
Okay.
So it's the power that it gives you right in your palm.
So 2 things. You just said all these cameramen behind us now. You're saying that you can replace them. You have enemies, though.
Not really,
But
not
then
really. But at least they're taking advantage of what
Yeah.
you have, at least for a
Okay.
starter.
You also mentioned something about stability.
Yeah.
Now, the difference between a professionally shot video and one that was just shot, is that you can have that stable feel to it. And, it glides through and it looks like as if you have like an army of crew
You're
behind
just
that.
adding production value to what you're creating.
So devices such as these can actually help
Do all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they even have like Pro Tools where you can literally set some of the features manually, if you can.
Okay.
And if you can, just switch to auto.
Oh, that's
and
very
you'll be
interesting
fine.
about these devices these days. But I'm also very interested in how much one can stand to make, maybe as a beginner, and also as time goes on. How much can I make from being that small unit videographer or production house? Let's start with being a beginner.
I'll say the opportunity is endless, but for every businesses, you need a video, you need to do promotion, you need to do marketing. And nobody wants to read like 4 or 5 pages of script.
Yeah.
But in like 30 seconds, you can tell people about your business. You can show them, and you can use the dynamic shots to better tell these
stories.
Tell that your campaign.
Yeah.
So it means if you can do it, like literally everybody needs you.
How will I find the customers, however? Do I have to go knocking on every door? I did do film or what?
Every small business needs a video. That's the truth. And because they're also small, they're also looking for people that can create videos for
That
them.
they can afford.
That they can afford. And you can be the best guy to solve such problems.
I want to see one of the work that you've done. So let's take a look at this. Now let's see the marvel that Oluwaseyi actually creates.
She wanted to know what that meant, if I would have kids and all. At the end of each day, she'd tell me how much she loved me.
She beat up boys in my class and anyone who dared bother me. She protected me. And my dad used to call her Gebewani.
Was it a long journey?
That's one of your jobs, and that's quite beautiful. The treatment to that is almost foreign. In fact, I guess that it is.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. What was that we just saw, by the way?
It's a short film we shot recently titled Ife.
Ife?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a story behind it?
It's just a love story.
It's a love story. Okay. Yeah. Well, very interesting. Okay. So we've talked YouTube tutorials. We've talked about getting started. Yeah. You can actually use your devices. But I want to know, and I bet everybody out there still is very curious as to how much can I make? If you say there are these people out there who want to make these short films to represent their businesses, how much will they pay me to create such?
I think averagely like 100, 200K per video.
That's salary now.
For just one
pretty
video.
Pretty much. But how much do I have to put into that video?
All you need is just your smartphone. If you have a good phone that can do all of this, if you don't have it, or if you have bigger budget, you can buy cameras, buy light, but that expands the team. And for a starter, you need a limited crew, limited resources. Your smartphone can be very handy.
Okay, so my smartphone could be my first investment.
Yes.
And then I'm going to grow from there.
As you grow, you can expand.
Okay. But you've grown to the extent where you have productions internationally, concert productions. Can you tell us a bit about that?
So I do cover big comedy shows and musicals in the US and Nigeria that are headlined by Nigerians.
Okay.
Like your Whiskey show, Bona, Davido, even their tours. I do create that for promoters in UK and US as well.
Okay, so it's interesting to note that this is all stuff that you learned from online and then you've graduated. People go to big schools to learn everything that you're doing right now. Are you saying that you can eliminate that entire process?
The advantage of online is that you don't stop learning. You get every day you learn new stuff. There are always new tutorials. So unlike the school, if you've been to a uni and you're out of uni for like 4 or 5 years, you're out of the system. But internet, there's always new tutorial every day, and that's the advantage that the internet gives you.
All right, so I have information here about something called the Samsung Learn to Shoot.
Yeah.
What is that? Do tell us.
So I did like 4 videos on how to shoot like a pro using a Samsung phone.
Okay.
Just to break the myth that you can create professional videos with a mobile phone.
Okay.
And so that should be dropping pretty soon. And some of the topics that I covered are camera angles that you can use to better tell your stories, composition, camera movement, and how to better set your camera, like your phone camera, to get the best out of it.
Okay, because there's some advanced settings in there that I'm not really used.
Intimidating. It's just that we don't really care.
Yeah, well, I'm like, first selfie. And that's really...
And those little things really count. In fact, just cleaning your lenses sometimes does big magic on screen. Yeah.
So all of this we can learn from the Samsung Learn to Shoot, which you put together. How many videos again did you say?
4 videos.
4 videos. How long are these videos?
And we also have like a bonus, which was the short film we shot on the Samsung phone.
So how long are the videos, and where can we?
2-3 minutes.
Where can we find them?
They're going to be available on all social media: YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Both on my page and also on Samsung page.
What's your page again?
I am Asuf.
I am Asuf. That's A-S-U.
I-A-M-A-S-U-R-F.
I-A-M-A-S-U-R-F. I am Asuf. That's on Instagram and all other platforms as well. Okay, so now we've learned all the, we know about this ability. I've bought my camera. I know how much I'm set to make and all of that. In the long run, how can an individual who wants to invest in this career, what can they be looking at developing into? How big can they go? I mean, you're a small business but you started really small, and now you've got staff all over the place. That progression, how did you come about it? How can people expect that their progression could also go learning from you?
It's just the interest to want to be better than whatever thing that you are
learning,
before.
Yes.
Do you understand? I started off as an editor, migrated to a producer, and also a director. And now I literally have a distribution platform.
Network, yeah.
More like what you call a mini Netflix. All of this are just what you call the progression.
And this wasn't what you studied in school, was it? It wasn't.
Although I did computer science in school.
Well, yeah, it's still...
But it was still a bit off.
Wow, Shay, it's fantastic what you do.
The opportunity is endless.
It's fantastic what you do with such, I mean, little resource, and bet you guys can also learn from this and take example, grow your own little businesses, your own small businesses to the extent that he has. It's fantastic having you here on the show as an inspiration to every young man or woman out there who thinks, hey, maybe I should start a small business in videography and all of that. So, hey, we're looking forward to the many more stuff that you can do.
Thank you.
Please make sure that we see it. Please show it to us here on TVC.
No problem.
Would like to see, and definitely on Wake Up Nigeria.
No
Thank you very much. We
you so
appreciate
much.
that you made out time for us today.
I appreciate it.
And we're looking forward to you seeing you again. So do stay tuned. We're going to break now. We've got more coming up inside of Wake Up Nigeria.
Yay!
Welcome back. You're
Yes.
still on to Wake Up Nigeria.
Indeed. And this is the parts many people look forward to. The part where we get to bring you a special somebody to have a conversation with. And today, it's none other than the talented actor Stanley Ebuka Nze Diego, popularly known as Stan Nze.
He has acted in several Nollywood movies, short films, soap operas, TV series, and commercials. He has joined us. He'll be joining us this morning, of course, for an interesting conversation. Hello, Stan.
How you doing?
I'm very well. Mary, you like to call my name to the full, right? You took me back to the village.
Wow.
Nice.
I just had
Stanley,
to.
You had a moment
Right?
there, right?
Yeah, you made you like, I thought that name was behind me.
Right.
We after
We
you.
after you.
Somebody that knew me from my village was addressing me, actually.
How are you doing
it's so
today?
nice to have you on the show.
Morning,
Yeah.
guys. Wake up, Nigeria!
Yay!
Yes, we are wide awake.
How are you this morning, Stan?
I'm very well, thank you. Good. Whoa. Okay.
Stan,
Oh, wow.
All
What's
right.
going on?
Stan, did we, I don't know, did we go through the same lockdown? Because you are looking too good to have gone through that
Right.
lockdown. Like, you don't even look stressed at all. Were you still making money at home during the lockdown? Because you must give us this
I'm trying to
gist.
rotate my video. Maybe you still see me?
What
Okay.
What did you say?
Can you guys still
All
see
right.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you, and I'm sure we can see you as well. So I was asking now, you don't look like someone that went through the lockdown with everybody else. So what's the secret now? Show us the way.
We all went through the lockdown.
No, you don't
I'm
look
looking
it.
stressed. You're trying to flatter me, Mary.
So
I'm
tell us,
trying
did you
to.
learn anything new during the lockdown?
Amazingly, yes. I
Okay.
did a lot of new things.
Okay.
I learned how to make TikTok videos.
You learn how to make?
Yeah. TikTok videos.
TikTok. Oh, great.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
So what else
Yeah,
did
I
you
learned
learn?
that. I learned that there is wealth in solace, like in just taking out time and being alone
Okay.
and studying and just the quiet, the silence out of the bustle, the hustle. That in itself is very priceless. That's one of the things that I learned, and definitely journey as well.
All right.
A lot of you is known. A lot of you is known.
Yeah.
But there are so many people who are probably coming into contact with you for the very first time. And for their benefit, I would like to take you back in history to when it all began. So
Okay.
how did it all start for you, acting? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't acting you studied, though. So how did it all start, really?
Okay, so it started off for me as in theater. So while I was in school, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, I joined a theater group, Champions Theater.
Okay.
And it was out of the urge to just serve on Sunday mornings. But I noticed that for me, I was not doing it like every other person. I would always minister and minister differently. I was always hungry to bring more to stage.
Oh, nice.
Every time I was thinking about our dramas, I just wanted to bring more. And every single time we ministered, people would always walk up to me and say, guy, you the actor, guy, you did do this thing well. Are you sure you not did professionally? And I'm okay. So yeah, the thought, I was nurturing the thought before I entered second uni. But you know how you enter uni and everything seems like, okay, it's no longer possible, I'm here. But after that experience, after the theater group sort of groomed me, and then I knew that I'll be able to do this professionally. I started thinking of it, started attending auditions, went for my first audition in 2006.
Wow.
Got the role, but I couldn't do it because I was in school, because I didn't, get on. So studying at the Nnamdi School University in Okab, and most of the opportunities I got were in Lagos. Up until when I was on IT, my industrial training in 2009, when I got my first gig on TV,
Nice.
private sector. It was something small, but yeah, that was how the journey started for me. And since then, it's been from glory to glory.
Nice, nice, nice. I know that you're also a producer, you're a model, you're a voiceover artist, and also you currently have an ongoing project, Kids Act project. How is that going? The COVID, post-COVID, what's been going on with the project?
So COVID sort of slowed us down a bit, but we're still in progress. So what we're doing with the Kids Can Act project is nurturing kids for the next generation of Nollywood. So we get children who we think are talented, we train them over a period of time, and afterwards we start to manage them. So yes, we couldn't train kids this year because doing it physically with kids is already a handful, let alone of when you try to do it online. But we're still going ahead to discover kids. So what we're doing is, if you know any kid who is talented, if you see anyone that looks like we
who
can
has
pull through
potential.
with this kid. Yeah, they have potential. So we just ask for videos. We see these videos, we see people online, and we reach out to them, and we take it up from there.
All right.
Yeah, so we're still discovering.
I really must commend you on that project. It's a very forward-thinking one.
Yes,
As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
you also, besides the fact that you manage the children, you also really do a good job with grooming them. It's been an inspiring journey for a child that I know.
Yeah.
And I really must thank you for what you do. But, Stan, you've come a long way from back when you used to collect 1,000 naira for transportation
from your mom,
to attend auditions. You definitely... but everyone has some kind of beginning.
Right?
Yes. So you've come a long way from then to now in your career. So at this point in your career, would you say you're satisfied with where you are right now, like in comparison to where you started from? Would you say you're satisfied now?
So my journey has been amazing. Like I said, I just mentioned that I did my first job in 2009. So you see that I've been here for over 10 years.
Over 10 years, yeah.
Counting correctly.
Counting
about 11 years. Yeah, so that's a long time. And I'm not going to say I didn't have times where I felt like leaving. I know that a lot of people that have started this journey with me have dropped by the wayside. But it's something that's always just kept me going. The fact that I'm just passionate about this. Acting is something I can do when you're not paying me for it. If you're not paying me for it. So even in the times where it seemed like, I wasn't making money from it, or it didn't look as rosy as it is now, I still was here. So it just says something. 100 years from now, till the day I die, I'm here. No leave, no transfer.
All right, so
no
quickly. All right, we need to wrap this up quickly, but I'm just going to ask you a final question. So are you making money from it now?
Say again?
Are you making money from being an actor now?
Absolutely. A lot of money. Are you kidding?
Wow, interesting.
A lot of money. So
share with us.
It's been consecutive progress.
Okay. you know this money thing you mentioned is just going to make me sound like your mom. Because 5 years ago, you said you are not ready to get married. And you know how it is now, especially with where you're from. The moment a guy has a good job, is looking good, there's a talk of getting married. Yes. So 5 years ago, you were not ready. Are you ready now?
Yes, I am.
So I guess that solace you've been spending, you spent with your significant other.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Interesting conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it was such a pleasure.
Okay. And we are saying yes to the food as well. Are you still waiting?
That food isn't finding solace.
Why are you in my
finding solace in my mouth?
In your mouth.
Mike, closer.
What's going on
here?
here?
You guys can stay here. Chef, so Chef Smoke, fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff you guys you put together.
Chef Smoke, no need to tell us what has been done. Just random.
Let's just go to the tasting. Tell us about it, please.
Yeah, this is I actually made this myself. Like, this is my one Chef Smoke sandwich.
From the scratch,
signature
my
recipe.
Yeah.
Nice.
I make it with beef too, and I make it with chicken, but this is chicken.
Okay.
Yeah. So mainly everything I used is French dressing.
French dressing, okay.
Yeah. And I used the buffalo sauce.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that is why it is a buffalo chicken
sandwich.
Okay.
So in there we have chicken, we have cheese, and we have tomatoes, we have lettuce, and we have chicken sausages as well. Yeah. All wrapped up in the French dressing. And there you go. And Mazino has not stopped taking his eyes off this meal. So just go ahead and let us know.
Who is Mazino? Why is Mazino? You are the one that made it. So the pepper that is there, you will be the one to experience it.
No, don't worry. Let me take one for the team. I want to take one for me.
Go ahead.
I actually
Mazino,
love pepper.
please, quickly so that.
Mazino.
Alrighty.
Mazino.
What's this one too?
Yes. Well, oops, I lost a piece of it there, but I think there's plenty more to go.
Okay. See his mouth. Just take a look at that.
Can you talk?
Mike, I don't understand.
It's fantastic because this is...
The pepper is not so bad.
When you see it being made, you don't know how delicious it's going to taste until you put it in your mouth.
to wrap it.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for watching.
One, Chef Smoke.
Thank you so much, Chef Smoke. Thank you to everyone who has contributed. Thank you to our guests as well. Thank you to the crew. Thank you, thank you
for watching.
And of course to homely.ng. Thank you so much for the kitchen accessories. We wish you a great week.
We call this French wrapping.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
We call this French wrapping.